By 2026 Northern Ontario champion Sandy McEwen. Our featured game here is Team Northern Ontario 1 out of the Kakaveka Falls Curling Club, skipped by Claire Dubinski, and they are taking on Team Saskatchewan out of the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon, skipped by Chloe Semeniuk. Both teams' first game, day one here. What are we expecting from this game, Sandy?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think you've got some experience in the Northern Ontario squad, and it sounds like the Saskatchewan team might be new to the national stage. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a great match on great ice. Lots of fans in the stands here, so it's going to be good.
Awesome stuff. We're just introducing the teams here. Just wrapped up the opening ceremonies here in Sudbury, starting at 7 p.m. We had a great turnout here for our opening draw. Really good crowds, and we're expecting much the same tonight.
All the high fives are done, Mark, and they're ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, Team Northern Ontario is moving out to the hog line, so they will have the hammer in the opening end. We've got Team Saskatchewan making their first appearance here at the New Holland Canadian U-20 Curling Championships.
Ours were like close? Like between our teams?
Excuse me? Who has hammer on sheet C?
Yellow.
Oh, we do have hammer.
Okay.
The draw to the button was
Imagine
so
we
close,
didn't
they
clarify.
just discussed it. It looks like Northern Ontario is up first, and Saskatchewan will have the first end.
Okay, let's communicate.
Throwing us off here right at the first rock.
That's why they have triangulation, Mark, right? You know, it's so precise these days. These curlers, even at this level, can put the rock really close to that button.
Yeah, would you just like
obviously it was a really
top four?
tight draw to the button this game. So to get us started then, it looks like it's going to be Ella McCarville, a last name that we all recognize here in Northern Ontario, Mark.
A little bit familiar. Of course, her parents, Mike McCarville and Krista Sharf, both of them very successful Northern Ontario curlers. Many Northern Ontario titles between the two of them.
Line's good. All there. Back 4. Back 8. Through. Line's good. Through. Just let it stop.
Sweepers are
Line's
laying
good.
off
Coming
this
down,
one for
back
now.
12.
Must be there on its own.
Line's perfect. Still coming down. Nice. Back 4. 14 1. Back 8.
Northern Ontario practice
Back
first,
eight.
so we can expect that ice might have been a little bit slower for their practice,
What'd
but
you get,
this one will
sorry?
take a seat in the back of the 12-foot.
I got it.
Force 10. Good clean release.
Yeah, you got
Trust
her.
it.
Saskatchewan looks content just to hit this open rock for now, and we'll see if it leads to a blank end here in the first end.
Yep. Straight up. Clean. Whoa. Great sweep. Good
Very
sweep.
nice.
Just sticks around there in the back.
And all of these teams had practice earlier today. They each, it's 2 pads here at the Countryside Arena here in Sudbury. We've got 4 sheets on each pad, and each of the teams would have had a few minutes to practice on 1 sheet on each pad, just to get a little bit of a feel for the ice. But, you know, it's still early, trying to figure out all the paths in the ice, so running it up and down for the first end, definitely expected here for both teams.
I suspect on ice like this, you're gonna get what you throw. You know, so if you're soft at all on your release, you might pay for it, but if you throw it well, you'll be rewarded for it, which is how it should be at a national championship. And we've got our very own Tom Leonard doing the ice here in Sudbury, so we expect that the ice is going to be right up there with some of the best that these curlers have seen.
Tom's obviously very familiar with this building as well. Back in 2023 with the Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship and the University and College Championships. And we've also hosted many Amethyst curling camps back several years ago. So Ice team essentially knows this building inside and out. So no issues. Everything's been smooth so far. We've had some really great ice for the first draw, and it's looking great again here tonight.
That first hit was 9-5.
So this is second stones for Team Northern Ontario. Lily Wright. Lily is a grade 12 student at Hammerstroll High School.
What was it?
Top 25 on Lindsay's. I felt that it was a hair stiffer, but not too bad. What was the
Just release?
Top
4!
Early miss here for Team Northern Ontario, so Saskatchewan with the hammer is going to get an early opportunity here to split the rings pretty much as wide as we can. You know, really set up a low-risk 2-point end here right off the bat.
And second stones for the Saskatchewan team, Kelsey Wall. She's a grade 12 student at Holy Cross High School.
Wait, you gotta be there!
And you're right, Mark. It looks like they're splitting the rings here to get them as even as they can.
Hard, guys, yep!
They're sweeping it.
Hard, you got her, yep, keep going! Keep going, yep.
Not many teams obviously throw it inside out during practice, so sweeping it as hard as they can, trying to bite the 12-foot here.
Yep.
I think they a little bit short. Early on in the game, obviously the teams are just still getting used to the speed of the ice, getting used to the curl, and that's very common.
We did say it was the first game for many of these athletes. For Lily Wright, throwing right now, she actually competed in the Under-21 Mixed Doubles Championship that actually took place in this very building a few days ago. competed with Braden Sinclair and actually just missed the playoffs. They finished 3-3 for the week and had some extremely close games. So they had a really good week.
And I think a much better throw from Lily on that one. She eliminated that yellow stone and back to the wide open end we had at the beginning.
Is that better weight?
That was good.
Great weight, Lily.
Set.
Phil, that one's water.
Ten.
Clean. Clean. Whoa, whoa. Curl. Curl.
Hardly up.
Hardly up. Yep. Okay, we're just peeling. 9-5.
Curling it hard, trying to get it out. It'll get there.
It's coming, but they can split it later. 10-5.
Just really
Sorry.
big.
Yeah, that's all.
Wait, did she say my weight?
So Northern Ontario is electing to hit this stone. It's not in the rings, but I think what Claire is probably thinking, it might be something they can split in. So you know what, eliminate it, try and roll in the house and
You got her.
and force Saskatchewan into a hit.
Good opportunity to see a inside out path here with the takeouts too.
Riley Paul is the third for Team Northern Ontario. Riley is a kinesiology student at Lakehead University in Thunder Bay.
Pardon? I like it for Yeah, you got her. Nice and clean. You got it. 11. But
And throwing third stones for Team Saskatchewan, Leah Beausoleil.
Back eight. Back
Leah
point.
is a nursing student at the University of
not moving.
Saskatchewan.
Sweepers are backing off of this one. It's sliding a little bit better than anything we've seen down here so far.
Just strong kick, okay? Yeah. Okay. Good line, Leah. It's all good. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
8-5. Can we just do the split? You can't split this. Hit.
Yeah, you got it.
Really nice line. I had it.
Once again, Northern Ontario electing to hit that stone that's in front of the house. It's their own stone this time, but it is it does act as a corner guard, so I think they're probably content with just peeling it out, I think would be the call.
I'd say both teams are pretty happy with the blank at this point.
Yes, clean. Clean.
Looks pretty good from my vantage point, and there it goes.
Line's good.
The other good thing about an end like this to start off the game for both teams, Mark, is they're going to bank some time,
Absolutely.
which is really valuable in this game.
Kelsey,
And yeah, so like you said, they'll both be happy to
Well then.
run the rocks up down the sheet here and
We're team 9.
get going again in number 2.
An advantage for Saskatchewan here, having the opportunity to throw a couple of draws. This one's going to slide through. But just having the opportunity to check out a few different draw paths, keeping Northern Ontario hitting a little bit. Of course, early in the game, you'd like to be able to see a few different lines, for example, for the draws, just in case your skip does have to throw a draw either to the button or any of the more complex shots. It's good to see a few different spots in the ice early.
Absolutely. Claire Dubinski is the skip for this Team Northern Ontario. And Claire is a biology and education student at Lakehead University in Thunder Bay. She's been to the U-20 championships before, and she's been to 3 U-18 championships as well.
Yeah, lots of experience on this Northern Ontario team.
Back. Over here. T. Back 4. Line's good. T. Line's good. T. Fellas. Oh, you look Pop 4. Take a look. It's good. Look there. T. Pop
Really good
4.
communication with these teams as well. We're hearing constant weight calls comparing to the line, just making sure that they're getting the absolute most out of every shot.
Yeah, and that's important. It keeps you engaged in the game, right? You know, especially in first end of a curling game when it's wide open, it's easy to just kind of forget about the small details in curling, and the fact that they're communicating like that so early is good to see. And you know what, may bode well later in the game when they have a draw in the same spot.
Absolutely. Everything's a learning moment in games like these.
Skip for Team Saskatchewan, Chloe Semeniuk. Chloe is a kinesiology student at the University of Saskatchewan. Lots of students here this week, Mark, it seems.
Absolutely. It's really good to see.
Trying to make this one curl. Looks like she's got half the rock for sure. It's just going to slip out.
Just goes out. Yeah, of course, with a lot of these players, as mentioned, students, a lot of them are very familiar with various U Sports championships or the CCAA championships. A lot of them here this week are former champions, former medalists at these events. We're hearing some Northern Ontario calls in the crowd as well tonight.
Yeah, I heard the Moose call just now. Always great to hear. Nice opportunity for Claire as well to get her draw weight this early in the game.
Really good sweep there by McCarville and Wright just to get it to the top of the 8-foot.
And as expected, we have a blank opportunity coming up here for Team Saskatchewan to retain the hammer going into the second end.
9-5, go for the blank.
Interesting to see what the hit does down here, down the middle, down the center line.
Always interesting right down
Not a
center.
lot of ice. Yeah, not a lot of ice, so we'll see.
Oftentimes we'll see these hits kind of right along the center line. Anything inside should start to curl a little bit early. So it's curling early.
Looking like it's going to be on the nose.
That's fine.
Single point on the board here for Saskatchewan. We are going to be right back after a quick break.
Do you like the massive
I got it.
bobble?
Oh, thanks. Watch behind you, Claire.
Good weight. Good.
Coaching interaction.
Tight 3.
Welcome back. Sudbury, Ontario. Sudbury Saturday night, actually. Hosting the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. Saskatchewan going for the blank in that first end, nosing it, so they will take their single point, and Northern Ontario will get the hammer as we start this second end.
Line's good. Little tight. It's always Leah. 2, 3. Yep, hold. It's always Leah. Line's okay.
All of you.
Weight's good.
Line's great. Whoa, no, Kels. No, not yet.
Team Saskatchewan lets it throw up the center guard.
Good. Good one. Real nice.
Very nice. Stays right on the center line.
Yeah, great spot by Lindsay Miller to get the second end going.
Okay, Belle, you got it. Yep.
Bella McCarville is the youngest player on this sheet of ice
Back
today,
four.
it looks like.
Back 4.
16 years of age, playing in a U-20 championship. Pretty special for her.
Top 4.
Line's better. Still
Top
rally
8. Top 8.
Top
Top 8. Top 4. T.
Looking to bring this one into the
Back
rings
4.
here. Try to generate a quick deuce. Bringing this rock behind the T line. It's really, really good spot for that.
Sorry. What'd you get, sorry? 15-3. Okay, here's good.
Like that speed release.
Yeah, I got 4-8. Good, Belle.
Yeah. Just passed, but pretty close. That was 4-8. Perfect.
Clean.
Clean.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, clean. Clean, yep.
Yep.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Good attempt coming here from Lindsay Miller.
Yep. Hard roll. Roll.
No problems there.
That was a great throw by Lindsay. Actually, a great team shot. Sweeper swept it nice, and the skipper had the line call the whole way down.
You pick.
Really special opportunity this year, actually, for Bella McCarville. She actually had the opportunity to play with her mom, Krista Scharf, as her alternate at the 2026 Scotties Tournament of Hearts. And of course, wishing all the best to Krista. She has announced that she's going to be stepping away from the game for a few years. So always entertaining to watch their team at the Scotties over the years.
Very entertaining. Lots of championship curling out of Krista, and she's a legend.
Absolutely.
I think we can say that now. She's a legend in Northern Ontario curling, and her daughter Bella is maybe starting the beginning of her.
I would think so.
curling career.
Picking up quite a bit of that knowledge, I would say.
Definitely.
Nice shot, Belle. Clean. Hack. Firm. Hack. Firm. Clean. Clean. Yep.
Yep. Whoa.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa.
Curl.
Whoa.
Go to
Curl. Curl. Curl now. Yep. 12-3. That's good.
Kelsey Wall with a nice takeout.
12-3. Good, Kelsey.
10-5. Track
Okay.
the curl.
Really good to hit and stick there. Obviously, Northern Ontario hoping to replicate it.
Go to your side.
Try to roll outwards a little bit, even towards the edge of the 8-foot. They're hoping for a roll out here for Team Saskatchewan. That would allow them to come around the center. But hit and stick on the nose, first things first.
Calling some curl here to get the rock to come over.
Hard piece. Go. It's okay.
Just missed it on the way by.
Get right around there.
Top 4, just bite.
She's gonna throw like that. It just
Shorts the miss here.
Just trying to get this one to curl right at the end. And
Oh, okay.
just missed it.
Can I give you what
Top
I
4, top 8's good.
to the wings?
Opportunity now for Team Saskatchewan without the hammer to get a rock behind their center guard.
11-1.
Ideal spot for this would probably be full 8-foot or biting top 4.
Line's nice.
Good opportunity to shrink the scoring area a little bit.
Clean.
Got Northern Ontario in a little bit of trouble, and this one's made well. We'll see Northern Ontario
Yep.
likely start to play the run backs.
Hard line. Hard. Okay, whoa.
Back 4.
15 inside edge.
This one coming a little bit deep.
It's okay.
comes to rest in the back of the
I
12.
can give her a little more.
10-5.
Okay,
I'll give you less.
Okay. So hair more.
What'd you get? 35. 35? 35. Did you say hog? 15. What? 15?
10.
Lies. I thought I
10. Girl.
Curling this one as well.
Hard. Hard.
Hard curl.
Hard. Hard. Hard ride. Hard.
So it's really hanging.
Yeah, I think they just found a straight spot in the ice there with that kind of weight.
Go. Okay. That's not bad.
Let's both rocks out of the 8 foot.
You do that one better. Just even less. Okay, 45.
Yeah, 45.
Better than her first one.
If you weren't with us earlier this week, we've
That
had
be better?
a
Was
few
it still
changes made
down?
to the U-20s this year, amongst other competitions. You will notice that the teams that are, when they're not delivering stones, they may be speaking with their coaches.
Never then.
Of course, maximizing the opportunity to be able to speak to your coach and your alternate to try to discuss strategy before the next team throws. And it's really allowed for more interaction between the coach. So instead of timeouts, we're also referring to them as coach interactions now.
Stop line's great.
Coaches will be allowed a maximum of 1 interaction in the first half of the game and an additional 1 in the second half of the game. So this will allow them to speak with their team during their turns as well. So many opportunities now for these teams to discuss with their coaches, whether it's strategy or different paths on the ice, what we're seeing. So really good for these teams to have this this extra opportunity to consult with some really good coaches out there this week.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, Mark. I mean, with these coach interactions, because we're used to the typical timeout where the time clock stops, but in this case, the clock keeps going, right? So as a coach, you got to be mindful too of the amount of time that you're taking out there with your team.
Absolutely.
Hard bell.
With time being so important in this game.
You're moving the ball hard. Push bell. Keep going.
Additional changes, obviously, 8 ends here instead of the traditional 10 ends that we've seen with the under 20s, and this lines up a little bit better with the some exciting new changes coming in this new quadrennial coming up, and lining up with some of the big changes that World Curling is doing.
You can almost get away with the same weight. Okay.
Nice draw by Team Northern Ontario there. Put it in a really good spot.
Honestly, I don't.
Do you like how I'm throwing though?
I liked your second one.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
Yeah, it was a little slower. Yeah, for sure.
Claire Dubinski just deciding to ignore that center guard for now because the Saskatchewan Rocks were behind the T line, so it was an opportunity for them to get on top, and they did.
More line.
Good opportunity here for Saskatchewan to make a really good freeze and really shut the scoring area down on Northern Ontario.
Hard, yeah, curl. Just curl. Just curl. Curl. Backing. Okay, stop.
It's coming in a little bit heavy.
Stop. This is more. Thanks, bro. Okay, good try.
Nice shot, Rod.
Thank you. Still in? A little more.
Top 4.
Yep.
Same size. I'll get here less.
4-5. Yeah, the exact same way. We didn't switch down that much. Yeah. Slower kick. I like
T line weight right now, Mark, seems to be about 14.7, 14.8 is what I'm getting. So we'll see what we get here.
Thought to hear more. Back 4.
Of course, we've seen quite a few rocks now down the same path, so we do expect that this will even speed up even more.
Back 4.
Calling this one heavy as
running.
well.
Curl or only if you can. Back eat. Curl if you can. Coming down. Unless we're through.
14.6 on that.
Curl. Coming down. Curl. Curl.
Trying to slow down.
Yep. Good. That's okay.
Yeah, it may be up to 15 seconds there now. That's nice and quick.
Slips to the back of the 8 foot, but not bad at all. It's pretty difficult to remove that stone now, and they do have a little bit of an angle on that red-yellow combination, as you can see. About half of that red rock just on the back of the button is exposed if they elect to move it later.
They're 1 and 3.
But looks like the same path is going to be used to try to put this freeze in a really good spot again.
Top 4 is better than back there, so I might even give you a few feet less.
Okay, you got it.
Please, Kelsey. See? Kelsey, start if you can. We're big. Oh, yeah.
Back 4.
Oh, yeah.
Speed looks close on this one, coming in.
Yeah.
Hard. Hard.
Yep.
Hard.
Okay.
Just a little bounce off there, out into the open.
I like drawing right now, I feel like. I like drawing than hitting on our necks.
Probably would have said back
So
4.
they're just trying to carve it over a little bit at the end, get that a little bit more curl, and just bounces off at the end.
11-5.
I just think that's
Because I don't like just noticing it.
Good opportunity now for Northern Ontario with the hammer.
I agree.
Claire Dubinski probably trying to come down and
12 is 5. I think
tap that yellow and bounce over. Even a freeze in there would be quite okay.
11-5. Just flop
The other red one
the red.
really isn't going anywhere at this point.
No, both options are good. There's a little bit of a pocket now created with where that yellow one rolled.
I think I like this.
Anything in front of that yellow and red would be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it awfully difficult for Saskatchewan to remove them both.
You said 9-5?
11-5.
Okay. Here up! 10-5! Curl!
Claire Dubinski here with her first of the
10-5!
her first skip stone here in the second.
Hard bell. Hard bell piece. Hard bell piece.
Trying hard to curl this one over to get to the inside. It's just not quite going to get there.
Okay.
Leaves are shown at the back of the button.
Probably here.
But really good opportunity now for Saskatchewan
11-5, but I might
to
be
steal a
wrong.
point here.
It's just not curling.
What was the weight? 11. I got 11-5. She got 11.
She knows it.
This is 2 brooms left. No,
And that's the one thing as a last rock thrower, you get to see 5 or 6 rocks come down at you before you have to throw.
The weight? You guys?
And if you're paying attention and you're recognizing that, as you said earlier, the speed is probably quickening in the spot,
It's the same shot.
you think about those things before you throw the rock.
Little tighter line.
Chloe Semeniuk now with her last stone. Just through this draw, so should be very close with this
Still
one.
Kelsey.
Kelsey, if you can.
Kelsey, go.
Kelsey, go. Go.
Kelsey.
Go, Kels.
Trying to carve it over.
Hard, Kels. Right to it.
Go.
Line's
go,
looking
hard.
pretty good. Got to curl a bit more. That's pretty good.
Really good result.
Still an opportunity, though, I would say, for Claire Dubinski and Northern Ontario to come down with back 4, back 8, heavy draw kind of weight. And I believe she can probably get to the nose. It's pretty close, a little bit to the inside, though, with the correct weight, and she could be looking at scoring, too.
So you should probably see a good half of this yellow stone sitting on the button. There's a good look at it there. Right on the nose, back 4 weight, push it back, and score your 2 points.
Because where did she take edge of 8?
Yeah, it's a draw.
Yeah. And they were carving the whole way.
Maybe a hair less. Yeah.
I like it. You got it.
You got it.
Last rock here in this second end.
Reeds, move.
Wide tap back, chance for 2 for Northern Ontario.
Wait, straight. Yep. Straight. Curl. No, not curl. Straight. Speed.
Calling it close on this one. Starting to curl towards center.
Straight.
Gotta work
Get it
hard to
by,
get
no. Caught center line a little bit too soon, so we have a steal here in the second end. Saskatchewan swipes a point, and they're up 2-0 now on Northern Ontario after 2 ends of play. We're going to be back in about 30 seconds after a quick break.
Well, yeah.
Today we learned to put one foot in front of the other. that with a little hard work, great things will happen. We can go for gold, but what matters most is having fun. We learn from some of the best, improving our skills, building confidence, and making friends that feel like family. We are proud to be the future of curling.
Welcome back here. The 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. Sudbury, Ontario, and the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex playing host to this year's event. We've got 36 fantastic teams here from right across the country competing. And we're lucky enough to be calling a really good game so far between Saskatchewan and Team Northern Ontario #1. And Saskatchewan with a 2-0 lead so far. Obviously, a couple misses early, but it's good to remember it's both teams' first game on the ice. Obviously, draw 2. Women are playing the first game. Still learning the pass on the ice, but I think we can expect as the teams go on and learn the pass a little bit more that we're going to see some really precise shots being made here.
Yeah, these are two good curling teams. I think you and I can both tell, and it's you know, playing in an arena ice is a different feeling too, right? Depending on the ice that your provincial championship was in. You know, we experienced that firsthand on our own team this year, playing on our provincial championship ice, then heading to the Brier. It was different, you know. So I think that's what a lot of these teams here are probably experiencing too, and yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the game here. I think these teams are going to adjust quickly, and we're going to see lots of great curling shots.
Absolutely. Seeing a lot of good communication between these two teams. Obviously, a lot of work being put in to get to this point.
T. Top 4.
And we've got some rocks in play again. 2 ends in a row.
Great draw by Northern Ontario lead, Ella McCarville.
Some moose calls in the background too.
Lindsay Miller is going to attempt the freeze on this one.
Nice shot, Line's good.
Good shot, Belle.
Top 12.
Switch.
Wait only. Yep. Straighten out. Hard, yep. Okay, well, great sweep, guys. Good. Oh, sorry.
Not a bad result.
Leah.
Northern Ontario trying the wide come around here, trying to put
I think a
little bit more pressure on Saskatchewan. And of course, 2 rocks up front, trying to generate a couple of points here to bring this game back to even early.
Line's good. It's good. Well, top 4. Top 4. Yeah, line. Top 8. Yeah, line. Top 8. Hard line. Top 12. Hard line. Top 8. Hard. Hard right. Get it past the red. Hard. Hard right. Girl.
Got a good one here, Mark.
This is a really nice shot.
Great spot.
15-3.
That's what you need from your lead when you're down 2 points, headed into the third end. Make 2 great draws, 2 great come-arounds. Get your team going.
Pressure on Saskatchewan now. Good freeze here could get your team right out of trouble early here.
Just slower slide. Line's good.
Easy,
Top 4. Line's good.
Line's good.
Where are you? Straight in. Top 12. Hard, yep. Line's great. Straight.
All the way.
Yep.
Hard.
Whoa, really moving.
He's coming up a little bit short here. Gonna leave an extra guard out front.
Hey.
Claire wasting no time putting her broom in the house there, trying to sink a third one around this guard.
Okay, just watch this.
Be interesting to see what this side of the sheet is doing. If we recall, the last end was basically played on the other side of the sheet. So
Absolutely.
Line's good.
this side might have been sitting for a little bit, so players will have to be mindful of that.
Come back here. We're back here. Curl. Curl. Hard curl bell.
I think they recognize that it might have just been a tad heavy, so they're trying to get some curl behind the center guard.
You like this?
Leaves it open, but Northern Ontario is still sitting 3.
I like the line.
And all in here for Saskatchewan, trying another freeze here around their center guard.
What do you get? What was my side? 4-4. Did you add there? You add? No. You probably go slower. Did you hear me yell? More line! Back team! Hold it! Okay. That's why we're not. Room! Back button! Leah, go! Where are you?
Back 4. Go to
Go
meter.
Straight! Coming down hard. Straight! T. Straight. Yep. Go. Freeze it. Yep. What do you think? Get back 12.
It's off the second shot, so it's 3/4 buried here from the looks of things, maybe 2/3. So a little bit of pressure now on Northern Ontario to be able to remove the stone.
45.
Oh, there.
Riley Paul making that attempt.
Sweeping this one as it's coming down the ice. It's going to be really close to that guard. Just snuck it by. Great sweep. Great sweep.
Really good result. That was Lily Wright throwing. My apologies. Riley Paul still involved with the shot, but sweeping.
Yep. Just he.
Just got it
Look at
by.
that.
Any more would have touched the back of that rock. Chance for Saskatchewan and Leah Beausoleil, though, to sink one in here. Both of the Northern Ontario rocks appear to be just behind the tee line.
No.
Access here to freeze it right on the pin. Sweepers are crawling a little bit heavy right off the start.
Back east. Back
Coming down.
Like to get right in this pocket here if you can. It's starting to move now.
Clean. Straight. Sorry, you had to get by that. Straight. Hard. Yep. Hard, Linz. Never off. Curl now. Curl. Go.
Lots of curl on that shot. It was the rock seemed to be hanging, and the sweepers were on it to make it curl, and then they realized that it didn't need any help.
Okay, you got it.
And just touched that rock top A, but ended up in a pretty good spot.
We didn't need to curl.
Just had to give it a second more.
Just doing a little tap and roll over here. Try to sit in front of the tee line.
35.
That's what I had on yours.
Bella McCarville on this rock right away out of Riley Paul's hands, trying to make it curl. Just overthrowing a little bit, I would say, on that one.
Another one in there, good.
Yeah. I like
Just
this
got
one
the
to be, like,
corner,
over
so
curled.
Saskatchewan's in shot rock, and they've got an opportunity to change gears here. They've got their shot rock and guarded up, and chance to steal another point here if they can keep guarding this properly.
Don't hate that. Kate. We're one. I like here. Like a 2.
Okay. Just make sure they can't get through.
Can we get second shot out of it?
I don't think so.
Can we get second shot out of it? No. Okay, then I like a 2.
Yeah. Like here?
Yeah, I think I like the guard here too, Sandy. What do you think?
Like
Yeah, I mean, it's you've got a rock in there right now. I mean, Northern Ontario, if they were to throw again, could still access it. I mean, you could get really aggressive and try and sink another one in there, and force Northern Ontario to play a peel, a double peel. But I think you're right. I think they're electing for the guard in this instance.
Might come down out here.
Yeah, we can't. No,
let
it
it
work,
go.
Kels. Let it work.
3, top 12.
Whoa,
Coming down.
it's gotta stop now.
I don't know.
Starting to come back now.
Curl. Curl.
Line's looking really good with this one. That stops in a great spot.
Good. Height of 35.
Just because, yeah.
When it came down because it was so wide out here, that's why I really didn't.
Sorry?
Decision time now for Northern Ontario because it's pretty difficult to run that one back and not kill any of your red stones.
Yeah, out of her hand, it was like top for us. Yeah, I like. But we just had to let it work because like we had to fly out.
Yeah, they could elect to do the double peel too, across the top and just kind of shake things up. But
Well, it looked like you were barreling down here.
it's going to be a high, hard one either way from Northern Ontario Vice Riley Paul.
Yeah, certainly need to open it up a little bit and leave yourself room on that that intern side. Rolls it over to center, but not quite what they wanted, leaving that yellow stone on the button essentially fully buried and leaves Saskatchewan a chance to put up that same guard.
16-3 on you.
Okay. That same guard.
Yeah, if you're Saskatchewan now, I mean, you could play the same card. You could also you could really sink another one in there, top button, and
Like where the wheat sheaf is out there.
and it would be tough for Northern Ontario to get either rock out. But I think you're right. I think they're electing to play the guard again, and it's going to force Northern Ontario into a tough shot.
Yeah, good options either way. It's Northern Ontario at this point doesn't have very much to run back into the rings, so. But Saskatchewan's got their steal points, and they're going to keep guarding it.
Just clean, just clean, just clean.
Clean.
Whoa.
Wait only. Wolfer line.
Okay, Wolfer line.
Just gotta sit.
We're like
now.
at 2-3.
Just let it sit.
Tuck a piece.
Just let it sit.
3.
Just let it sit.
Sit.
Good, Chloe. Tell 16-8.
Okay.
I just don't love running.
16-8.
Okay. Good judge, guys.
Yeah, good shit.
I knew heavy out of my kick, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good throw though.
Okay.
So now they're looking at the double peel
Good judge.
on Claire's first, try and open things up and just really give them an opportunity to score.
Kick was firm. We are in line.
This end, there's some inherent risk by, as you alluded to already, by running that yellow guard that they just threw into the pocket.
I think they're lining up this yellow-yellow-red combination. They're trying to see if their tight red guard will clip off the yellow guard that Saskatchewan just threw.
Correct.
See if they can redirect it into the button.
Could be a fun shot if she hits it in the right
Absolutely.
spot.
I like it.
Rising up. Oh, it's been doing it the whole time.
Needs to make a little bit of noise here regardless. Peels the
Straight
top
peel.
one.
So what do you do now if you're Saskatchewan? Looks like they are electing to guard
Which
the one they just threw. There isn't a whole lot on the out-turn side.
Well, the only thing I'm seeing right now on the out turn is if
Like in this line.
Claire can just tap up her redstone just in the top of the 8-foot if you could slice it sideways.
Yeah, because all I'm seeing is this.
Yeah, that's all we're seeing too.
Yeah,
Have seen some curl on that side, but anything heavy just seems to run extremely straight down this ice so far. So very precise shots will be needed from Northern Ontario regardless. Saskatchewan discussing this right now.
Higher the better.
Yeah, in line with this.
I like middle of 12.
Yep.
So they are playing a guard on the outturn side. I think they saw the shot that you saw, Mark. A little skinny tap on the red rock top 8.
I think I like that. I like a 55. Yeah. Can I even get away with 60? Yeah.
And a good spot here would essentially be right on the D in the new Holland logo.
Yeah, I think
Block any opportunity at a run back in here.
Three. Holland. Line's good.
Corner,
Right.
please.
Where are we?
right.
Not touching it yet.
Corner this.
Whoa.
Weight seems to be good.
And lines in the ballpark as well. Just need this one to stop a little bit.
Straight.
Curl.
That's okay.
Just quick out of your hand. What? Just quick out of your hand. 34? Yeah, 35. 33.
I don't know that outturn slash is
Mine was good.
there.
I don't think you
it's,
can quite see
I
enough
don't
of
know
it.
that you can hit it thick enough. So they're going to look at some other options if
It for sure makes it harder.
anything's lined up.
I need Gatorade.
Interesting.
Gatorade, girl.
What do you think they're playing?
Certainly playing the yellow guard into the red. See if you hit it on the right-hand side of the broom, we'll see if it can redirect onto the other yellow guard.
Yellow, red, yellow, red. See if it clips it, on the way by.
Yeah, that's... Final stone here this third end. Claire Dubinski trying to score her first points of the game. Trying to hold this one. Look at this. Make contact.
Oh,
Really nice shot for a single point.
great shot.
The angle worked. Lots of approval here from the Northern Ontario fans in the stands as we finish our first 3 ends here. Three ends in the book. We'll be right back here in Sudbury. We are back here in Sudbury, the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. And we've got a game here between Saskatchewan and Team Northern Ontario 1. A really nice shot there on Claire Dubinski's last. A combination run back, so to speak, to score a single point. And I think that'll be good to boost Northern Ontario's confidence, of course. Chasing that whole end, they're in a little bit of trouble. And to come away with your single there is, it's got to give the team a little bit of confidence going forward.
Yeah, I agree, Mark. That was a big shot by Claire, and you know, playing here in your home province and some fans in the stands, I think all those things will go together, and you're right, probably give them some confidence heading into the fourth end.
Over curling boat. Halfway.
We do have a decent crowd at hand here too. It's almost 10 p.m. here in Sudbury, and quite a few of the parents are obviously
5-4.
sticking it around to cheer on the kids, and we've got a few locals here too, obviously.
Great bell.
It's a big week here The Under-20 Canadian Championships, always an exciting event. One of the big ones to look forward to every year, so many people coming out and taking in the action here.
Thought she was going to slide. Good! Oh, 5-4, nice shot.
Great shot, though.
Line's great. Room. Keep going.
2.
Okay, well,
2.5.
come off or just light?
Just like.
Okay.
Let's go this way. Sure. Hey, Belle. You got it. You know the weight.
4-8, you got it.
What do you have? Just light. What do you have? 40?
A couple of center guards up here, so Ella McCarville is going to be trying to
Faster slide.
draw around this Northern Ontario center line guards. Try to put some pressure on Saskatchewan here. Sweepers are going early on this one.
Pop feet.
Hard line!
Pop feet.
Hard, you gotta go!
Pop feet.
Trying hard to get it by the center. They're going to roll off close to the rings.
Weight was really close on that one.
She's not as dramatic on her routes. I'll just give her more. Don't tell her that.
Seeing a lot of late finish on this ice, especially when your weight is close. No shortage curl out here.
And that's great to have at a national championship, right? I mean, you can make a lot of shots out here, which is all you can ask for as a curler, and it makes it very entertaining for us announcers and the fans too.
Absolutely, it forces you to be precise too. Any kind of extra weight, as mentioned, is going to run very straight on this ice. It's going to force some of these players to make sure that they're picking the right way for these shots. Really good learning experiences too.
Got a good one coming in here from Team Saskatchewan.
Really nice spot.
So less than my last draw? Yep. You got it.
Northern Ontario electing to freeze. Sticking with the out turn, the turn that they know right now.
Sweeping this one early. It's hanging a little bit on the outside with the early sweep. And it'll just come up a little bit short. Top their own in the rings though.
I gave them the exact same ice.
It's a good opportunity here for Saskatchewan with the hammer here, trying to sink another one right in the 4-foot here, fully buried. Chance to generate another multiple point end.
Is that weight good? Okay. Is that weight good? Like top 12. Okay. Just too much ice or what? She said that already.
Top 4! Easy.
Line's good.
Line only! Line only.
Room.
Top 8! Top 4!
Leah. Leah's rock.
Leah's up!
Where are you?
Top 8!
Oh,
Top
curl.
4! Girl! Straight girl! Nice!
Curl.
Nice!
Go.
Another good one here from Team Saskatchewan, coming
Really
top
nice.
4, frozen on their own rock. They seem to have a good feel for their draw weight. Last couple ends here, Mark.
Absolutely.
Team Saskatchewan.
They've got those paths figured out and forcing Northern Ontario to chase here a little bit again.
53.
Yep.
Northern Ontario second, Lily Wright. Straight peel on the top yellow.
Saskatchewan looking to put this one top 12. That'll accomplish a couple of things. You've already got that center guard, as you can see. It is a Northern Ontario rock, but by coming in top 12 here, you'll accomplish a couple of things. You'll be adding essentially another guard to these two stones in the 4-foot, and by pulling it in full 12, you will be sitting 3.
Yeah, it's going to really force the issue here for Northern Ontario. If this is put in a good spot, then Claire will have a decision to make.
Line's good. Two. Keep. Line's good. Whoa, no, whoa. Two. Whoa. We're never in. That's okay. Just a two. Leah, go. Yep. 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 Keep going. Go, go,
This one's going to stop a little short of the house, it appears, but not a bad spot.
Not bad at all. It covers a little bit of that red run back right up the center line. So
Thanks. I'd rather
mission accomplished here for Saskatchewan.
I'd rather be light than there. Yeah. Or like
Claire's asking Northern Ontario Vice Riley Paul for a double peel on this one.
Please. Peel up. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Peel. Whoa.
Looks close.
Off. Peel. That works.
A little too thin.
Try at a 55.
The red one there.
Yeah.
Looks like Saskatchewan's going to play the same shot. Top 12
My second one, I just sit tight. Yeah, I do too. Like
around the red one.
mine's most important here.
See that red one just kind of rolls back onto the center line. So definitely still some work to do here for Northern Ontario, and a really good opportunity for Saskatchewan.
you look for it.
Bobby!
Whoa.
Bobby!
Whoa, line. Line's
Bobby.
good. Trying. Close. Whoa, Kelsey.
Bobby!
First appearance too for the majority of the Saskatchewan team at a national championship, and they've been really impressive here in these first 4 ends so far. No signs of nerves from this team. Look at that shot.
Not at all. As I alluded to already, they really seem to have a really good feel for their draw weight, especially in this in-turn path.
Get all of them going. Give me Peel. Like Peel.
37.
His turn.
Nice. It's like pretty
Same
much
throw.
I think. At a 40.
Run back right on the nose here. Could make quite a few of these yellows move if you hit it in the right spots.
Can we hit a 17-1 on your card? Close. Yep. Yes, hard. Hard bell. Hard bell piece. Hard bell. That works. What happened? I don't know.
A little bit of a sneaky rub and roll there behind that corner guard.
Like a 2. Grab. 2. That looked like it just had like no rotation. Yep. Yeah. You got out or something.
Problem for Northern Ontario remains that all 3 of those yellow Saskatchewan stones are in a really good spot in the top 8, top 4, and right on the button. And another guard being asked here
No.
for Saskatchewan.
Is that a lot of weight?
Tight. Where are you?
Tight.
Yeah, and the tough part for Team Northern Ontario is Team Saskatchewan is throwing the same path now, I think 4 or 5 rocks in a row. So they've really got a good feel for this path and what the rocks are doing.
It's coming in a little bit deeper than they wanted.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
What do you
Still
think,
sitting
Mark?
forward.
Is the quad there or what?
I would always send like
Well, I think we need Sandy McEwen throwing this one.
We have to cross it. We have
I don't think it's there.
No, you can make 3 of them go away.
Yeah.
cross it.
2 for sure. The houses have seemed pretty lively here in these first 2 draws so far. So if
Give me.
you hit these rocks and they start spinning, they're going to go for a while.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you can certainly the doubles definitely there, and yeah, you're right. If you hit it correct, you could get 3.
Yeah. Not a hair more. Yep.
And yeah, hey, you never know. Hit it with
Got it. 6'9".
quite a bit of weight. Sometimes the curling gods
Just like Riley threw. I don't know how you throw that.
go in your favor.
Go in your favor, absolutely. Important thing here for Northern Ontario would be to get those 2 stones off the button. If you can roll some of these rocks off the center line, you may leave yourself a tap or a draw in for your single point, but no way in right now, so need to make a little bit of noise here.
Yep. Whoa. Yes. Yep. Hard belt. Hard ball right out.
It's close to something.
Yep. Hard.
Calling it close. How many can she get?
Good. Good shot, Claire. That's good.
Gets small moving, opens up the button. That's a really nice shot.
Yeah, not a bad
Claire
result.
Dubinski. see all 4 of these yellow rocks scatter off the center line. You're a little bit surprised that she only got one of them out of the rings, but a little bit of room to score for the time being.
What do you like better? What are we sitting? Like 3. You can either sit 4 here.
Of course, Northern Ontario does not have the hammer, so
Because this is her
going to be looking to steal one here, but Saskatchewan's still sitting 3 spread out.
Then why don't we get rid of that rock?
Yeah, Team Saskatchewan's
Just rolled it here.
just debating what they want to do because there are a couple outs for Claire and Team Northern Ontario.
10.
Crosshouse double being one of them right now.
Yeah, even like if we just sit nose on the, she goes starting to run. And then
Looks like they're electing to hit this red one.
Yeah, that's actually better. Just 10.
I think the main point of discussion with this one is knowing that this is a dangerous rock that Northern Ontario can draw around. So at least if you make this double, you roll a little bit away from the center line, you'll have room to score if Northern Ontario makes a really nice shot here.
Yeah, they may even come off the back of that other red one. That's biting half in the 12-foot too, depending on where they hit it.
Hit and roll right in front of their yellow stone at the top of the 4-foot.
Pretty good results. I think Claire is looking at the shot that I saw pretty quickly. I think this is her. Now that that yellow one is still there in the top 12-foot, this is her out for this end. Make it good, you might steal a point.
Absolutely. A couple of ways to make this too. Double's obviously a really good result. Even just a hit and roll, if you can get corner throws into that yellow stone in the 4-foot.
Right.
At least cut Saskatchewan down to 1 or 2 would be a victory here at this point. It's a precise shot regardless. Needed here from Claire Dubinski. Claire's final stone of the end. Calling it on right away, makes contact with the top one. Dead jam. So chance for 3 here for Saskatchewan.
I don't hate 10-5. Like my 10-5s are running good.
A little surprising that they're, I suppose they can hit this on the nose and that accomplishes that goal. You could also draw.
Absolutely. Saskatchewan is
3.
sitting 2 right now.
They are sitting 2, so.
Leah said 10-7 on the last one, and my 10-5s are tracking good. That's why I like just.
As long as you hit it on the nose, you'll achieve your goal.
Final stone on the way here. Saskatchewan skip. Chloe Semeniuk calling for curl on this one. Can she stick around? No, she can't. So. 2 on the board there. A little bit of a missed opportunity, but regardless, for a team that's essentially making first appearance as a team at this event, having a 4-1 lead at the breaking, it's a team that does have quite a bit of national experience. Is a pretty good goal here. So obviously an end well controlled by Saskatchewan. They end up scoring there too. 4-1 lead here going to the break.
Look at that shot.
See how he reacts. There goes one move in here. Hit them both too. Ah, great shot. Great shot. Oh, he's going to pick it right out of there. He's got it.
Is what you need to become an You got one, you got two, you got
Time to go home, kiddo.
Just one more throw, please.
Thank you for making moments like these possible.
We are back here in Sudbury, the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex. We've got 4 ends in the books here. Draw 2. Just looking at a few of the highlights so far for the first half of our game. Some really good action here. First time these two teams have seen action on the ice here in Sudbury. A few tense moments, but some really good shots being made, considering it's both teams' first time out. And after 4 ends, Saskatchewan with a 4-1 lead. It could have been a couple more points looking early in that end. Saskatchewan at multiple points sitting either 3 or 4, but hit and roll out on that last one makes it a 3-point game as we head into the 5th end here in Sudbury. You can see some of the fans. You've got Brad Gushu in the house there on the bottom right of your screen. Got a few of these celebrity curlers turned celebrity parents this week in the stands cheering on their kids. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in the next few years as the next generation of youth kind of comes up and starts going. That's really good to see these curlers, these parents kind of staying in the game in different roles, so to speak.
That was a little aggressive. Hey, hey.
Give us like a 35.
So just wrapping up their 4th end break here. Another item of note in these changes this year. Formerly with in-end games, both teams were given 30 minutes of thinking time. That has been increased in these events to 32 minutes per team. Of course, with these new coach interactions, the clock keeps going. Generally, you have about a minute to discuss with your coach during a shot.
I don't believe we've seen any coach interactions yet, Mark, so strategically saving them for the second half of the game, I would imagine.
I believe so, and it is good to note that you're allowed a maximum of 1 interaction in the first half of the game and maximum of 1 in the second half. So things have been pretty straightforward so far for that first half.
Very true.
Northern Ontario are going to be putting a few more rocks in play here, obviously down by 3. Looking at chipping away here at Saskatchewan's 3-point lead. Both teams did bank a little bit of a little bit of time in that first end. Rather, we did run it up and down, and ended up with a single point for Saskatchewan. Both teams with just over 17 minutes left with 4 ends to play, which is plenty of time for these two teams. Always like having that little bit of extra time, especially when strategy gets a little bit more complex late in the game. Need to figure out a few more shots. Always good.
Nice guard by Northern Ontario lead Bella McCarville.
Good, Bell.
Good job in my first one. 40.
You can see the green tape there on Claire Dubinski's gloves at the back. It does tend to get quite loud in these stands with all the excited fans, and communication is obviously key. So with the green tape on the back of the gloves, it's a little bit of an easier signal for the sweepers to look up and see that sweeping, whether it's being called on or off. So it's really good to find extra ways for these teams to help communicate when the vocals aren't good enough, so to speak.
You can go, helper, yep. Hard, split the line, yep, go. Go, keep going, yep, a little more. That's okay. That's okay, Lynn. Good sleep.
No real point to double guarding it. Just freeze.
Or do you like throwing up another
I
corner?
don't know what else we have. Come through this way, try to tick, but that's over buried. Can you get to this at all? The draw weight?
I kind of saw it. Yeah, I kind of fell at the end.
Or do you just like freeze? Okay. Top 8.
I like the freeze here too, Mark. I think that intern shot would have been pretty tricky for Bella.
I think so too. You'll have some time to use that corner guard later. Make a good freeze to this Yellowstone. It will be tough for Saskatchewan to move, and leaving some rocks in play, always good when you're down a few points.
Top 8.
Line's okay.
Touchdown.
Just top 8.
Top 8, we're there.
Line's good.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Top 8.
Coming down. Top 8.
Girl.
Sweepers seem to like it.
Really coming down.
Lines in the ballpark as well. Starting to come across center now.
Good.
Really nice shot.
Good, Bella. 15-7.
We're 1.
Big weight, Bell.
Good, Bell.
Keep.
Top 12.
Right on it.
Oh, look, it like came down.
No, not quite. If you're a 3, that's okay.
Came down its head. I was like,
Leave a little bit of separation here.
I want to say a 50.
Just
Can
bite.
even be a 55.
Saskatchewan aiming to throw one. I think I heard just bite. Just biting the house. Ideally,
Nice, little tight.
a little around that yellow center guard, I think would be great.
If you can bury it enough just to avoid having Northern Ontario be able to tap it, that yellow stone at the top of the 8-foot isn't a good spot right now for Saskatchewan.
Thank you. Yep, be deeper. Yep. Hard. Go. Okay, whoa. Great spot, Kels.
Real textbook start to this end.
16-6.
10-5.
Okay. 10-5. 10-5, you got it.
So I think Claire's asking Lily to peel the center guard, but ideally stick around for a second corner guard, I think, on this one. Mark?
Yeah, I think that was a call.
Yep.
Give yourself something extra to draw around.
Hard.
She's close to nose.
Sweep it.
10-1.
Scatters those stones around. Leaves Saskatchewan a
I like
fairly
keeping
routine
these
hit to
edge on
4
edge,
here
though.
early in the end.
You like bump?
I like bumper. They still really hate.
Just down or
It opened up that scoring area though if you're Northern Ontario.
Can I get a pin, Celeste?
Yep.
Was it? 10-1.
So just no set, I guess? Got it. Didn't look like I had that many rotations.
curl out of her hand. Might have been a little bit wide.
Hard, yeah, you got it, go. Hard, cross the line, go.
It's coming.
Roll big, roll big.
Catches the piece just enough.
That's fine. Straight wide, Blake.
Spills the shooter out of the back of the house.
Yep, top four. 11 top four.
Opportunity now, though, for Lily Wright to sink one in there.
Sorry. That's sweet.
Lots of room on that outside now. Kind of buried on the side of the forefoot.
Yeah, line a bit.
Set up an opportunity for two.
Yeah, line. Line's good. Hard line. Line's good. Line's good. Line's good. Just shoot. Top four something. Curl. Curl.
That's okay though.
Curl. Curl.
Going for curl here. This one's hanging a little bit more.
Yep.
A touch heavy.
Gotta go back. Gotta go back. Very hard. Hard. Okay.
It appears to be about half buried in the back 8 foot.
I think we're rolling away. Yeah. Just like, she didn't even plug that on that. Like, maybe you're rocking. 11-5. I like here, I think. Big half. One. Big half. Game bump.
Okay, you got it.
I could have half of that stone visible from this angle.
Leah Beausoleil throwing her first rock of the 5th end. Sweepers are on it right away.
Getting close to that center guard.
Okay.
Just touched it.
Now it inside. That's okay. I liked her weight. I'm gonna give you the same ice as Lily.
He's sweeping it, and as soon as it gets off that center line, just really takes off and just can't quite hold it.
Got it. Okay. Wait, was good?
So this is the opportunity that Northern Ontario was waiting for. Sink one around, and really good opportunity here to score at least your 2 points.
Line. Go bit. Tight. Really good. Tight. Let's go hard. Tight. Top 12. Good.
Calling tight top 12 as the rock's coming down.
Distance. Whoa, then. Whoa. Top 12. No. Curl? No.
Weight was actually pretty close. I think the sweepers felt like it was a little bit lighter than that and elected to sweep it out of her hand. Probably kept that rock a little bit straighter than they wanted to.
I think so. We have seen that a few times now where the early sweep really makes the rocks hang a little bit wider. But it's in the open, and Saskatchewan now with the chance to get themselves back into the control of the end here. Double here to sit 4. Looks like they're playing it right on the nose.
It's okay. Do you want me to tell you to add or not?
Sure. If it's like a big difference.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. Clean. Yes. Whoa. Yes. Yes. Hard.
It's curling up, makes one, gets the other one.
Very nice double by Saskatchewan Vice Leah Beausoleil.
Really nice. Saskatchewan sits 4. You can see here, hits the backboard a little bit thick, and it sticks around at the back of the 12 foot. Saskatchewan's still sitting 4, so mission accomplished here for Saskatchewan.
Northern Ontario is staying on the aggressive and playing the same out-turn draw around a bunch of rocks on the left side of the sheet.
Back 4. Back 8.
Sweepers are calling this one heavy early.
Back 8. Curl.
Calling for it to curl to get off the yellow stone at the top of the 8 foot. Just not quite going to get the curl.
Yeah, 14-4. Big ball. Hair off nose. Just here. Yeah. 10. Yeah. Why are we just calling it? Shot. 10-5.
So it just doesn't quite have a chance with the extra weight. Northern Ontario stone sits in the open for the time being.
That one you're a bit tough.
Yeah,
Saskatchewan skip Chloe Semeniuk
I don't know. I'm getting 4 different ices.
with her first rock of the 5th end.
Bella, I was taking picture 4, and she got way over there. And then
You got it.
yeah, but still, I gave this Lily this much more.
Looking to hit this one just a hair on the high side. Sitting right in front of her back, Yellowstone. And Northern Ontario's going to have a tough time getting in there.
This one looks close to nose, even inside nose. Gets a roll inside, navigates the court. Saskatchewan sits 5.
I just think it's hard to get buried this way.
Yeah, out of your hand I could.
This one right through that port at the back there.
And an inch tight.
Yeah. I think it would teach you that. Like, I think to draw this way. Actually, I'm honest. I like this way.
I think it's just gonna curl.
That's
So what do you do if you're Northern Ontario? I mean, you're down 3. Initially they had elected to play the hit and roll, and now they're playing a very wide in-turn draw. That's it's not a bad call, really. If you think you know the ice out there and you can get a rock all the way around everything, it's going to be really hard actually for Saskatchewan to get it out. It's just a question of what's the ice going to do way out wide.
Absolutely. We haven't seen any out this wide yet, but
that hit roll is precise.
It is the best result.
It is. I did see a couple of them throw this spot in practice earlier today, so they might have been trying to get a feel for how wide things will curl.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit of fresh pebble out here too, so that could help get a little bit of extra movement for you at the end. Definitely a must make here for Northern Ontario to set up their multiple point end.
Faster slide.
Curl. Curl. Curl.
T.
Curl distance. Curl. Distance.
Wait, good.
Curl. Curl.
It's the way pretty close.
Yeah, weight is very close.
Curl.
Didn't quite get the finish they wanted there at the end. Kind of hung along that 12-foot line.
Good effort though on that shot. I mean, like you said, the weight was very, very close. Just needed another
Better look at 6.
4 or 5 inches of curl would have been really good.
Yeah, Saskatchewan briefly looked at that draw as well. Haven't seen too many hits out in this spot. Saskatchewan might have elected to play either a draw or a tap on their yellow to try to sit 2, but they're resorting to the hit here.
Yeah, I think with Northern Ontario sitting second shot, I agree, really forces Saskatchewan to do something with this rock.
No. What? No. Are they 1? No, we are. Are they 2? They're second.
Yeah, make this red go away.
I don't have it
You can
all.
sit there, sit 6, if not roll out. Either way, Northern Ontario is going to have pressure shot on their last one. Last of the skip stones, or the Saskatchewan skip stone coming up here. Making contact. Is she going to stick around here? She'll roll out, but mission accomplished. See this rock trying to curl just at the end, trying to carve it over. Just catches enough of that redstone.
That was massive because it kicked out with like back line. Someone said yes, gotta go. So I think I have a bit less slide.
So an outturn draw for Northern Ontario on their last.
Yeah, I like less. I think that's probably through.
Yeah,
Really just needs
I think same that, just I gotta go with my
almost a
slower
4 foot
side.
on this one and get their single point.
Yeah, and they've seen this path a few times now, not only this end, but we've seen it both ways, so I expect Claire to be fairly close with this one.
Yeah, keep it brushed down then.
Final stone here for Northern Ontario 1 and Claire Dubinski. Game on the line here. Needs to make this draw.
All there.
They're calling it heavy out of her
We
hands.
need backing. We need backing.
Straight. You actually need backing.
Calling for the backing here. It's starting to curl quite a bit.
Yes, Bella.
Is it going to stop?
Hardly up. Hard, go.
Saskatchewan sweeping this all the way to the back. That's a big miss for Northern Ontario. That is going to be a steal of 5.
5 yellow.
So we'll see what these two teams decide. They're just quickly discussing. Both teams look like they're going to play on, so we'll be back with you right after this. Sudbury, draw 2 of the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Championships. Our featured game this evening is Saskatchewan against Team Northern Ontario 1. And what started out as a fairly close game has been blown wide open here by Saskatchewan, steal of 5. And we've actually got handshakes here down at the end after discussion with their coaches.
Good game. Good
Aren't we
luck.
supposed to play 6?
If you're down by 6, you can shake after 4.
Oh, we are only at 5.
Good game. Thank you for the bags, by the way.
Oh, thank you for the bag.
Yeah, we have to play 6.
So good.
And then, okay.
You have to play 6?
Yeah.
I think it's sorry. I thought you had to be down by a certain amount.
7 if you're...
Oh,
Yeah, so officials are just coming out and telling the teams that do have to play here.
Okay, what's the rule?
Top 4.
Maybe a minimum number of ends.
6
perhaps,
ends, I
couple
believe.
ends,
Yeah, we have to play 6.
Nonetheless, good opportunity for both of these teams to try a few things. Game is essentially out of reach, but you know, this could be the opportunity for Northern Ontario to try a few spots, and throw a few draws, maybe get some, figure out the weight. Both of these teams are going to be playing a single game tomorrow afternoon, so really good chance to dial a few things in.
That's right, and it's tough when you're down at the scoreboard like this too.
You're good. Reset.
You know, at this point you're just looking ahead to your next game, right? But you know what? If you're both teams, like you said, Saskatchewan and Team Northern Ontario, it's just one more opportunity to learn from the ice and hopefully make a few shots and take some positives headed into tomorrow.
I just think by that point.
Absolutely, it is still early. We were looking at the schedule for this week. So 18 teams on both the men's and women's sides, 9 teams in each pool.
One of you go.
And slight differences here is going to be the top 3 teams in each pool will be making the playoffs.
That's okay, Lynn.
That's fine, Lynn.
I
We
think.
talked about that. Like you said, if you're talking
So this game could be all important. We've got 2 really good teams here, and of course if we factor in the head-to-head as we head into the playoffs, this game could be very important. We've seen, as we mentioned really early in the game, with how close the draw to the button totals were. If we end up with a tie in head-to-head as well, that draw to the button total is going to become really important at the end of the week. A few things to look for as we get through the weekend and we head into early next week.
Halfway!
Okay.
Halfway!
That's your tolerance, so that was tolerance. Yeah.
Halfway!
That was okay.
You want to try?
Okay.
Looking over on the other sheets, Mark, it looks like Nova Scotia is up 6-2 on Team Alberta.
If you go by that.
Good, Bill.
On sheet A, sheet
It's
B,
slowing down a bit. 4-9.
really tight game between New Brunswick and Newfoundland.
Very close.
3-2 New Brunswick after 5. And then over on sheet D, Ontario seems to be having a really good game, up 8-0 on the champions from British Columbia.
Absolutely. We also have 4 games on pad B, so to speak. We're using both pads of the arena here at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex. Time for the tick shot, just hits the boards here. So these rocks will be put back, of course, with the 5 rock rule. Any guards in the free guard zone cannot be removed until the first 5 stones at the end have been thrown. Yeah, hoping for it to stop at the end and just hits the sides of the boards. So.
Something like that.
That's really good.
That's okay.
There's a bit more this way.
That's that close? More like that.
I think it might have been like a little heavy hack. Now that I think about it.
Just asking the official here to see if the
The
rock's in the same spot. So Northern Ontario is going to put up a second guard, try to generate a few points here.
Yeah, it just had to curl like this much more.
Yeah.
It was a good try.
Close. That's good. Just over. Not over. Just over. Riley, if you can. Just over. You're over. You're over. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're over. Good, Bella. Good. What'd you get? 18-6. I don't like this. No. I think you're here. Okay.
One ready?
Side of the 8-foot.
Okay.
Just because we don't like
Sean, wait. Yeah. I'll be a little bit heavier here because I really don't want to.
No, that's okay.
Team Saskatchewan just drawn to the open side here, I think.
Yeah, still keeping a few rocks in play.
Line's good.
Shimmer in. Oh.
Sheer.
Line's good. Oh, yeah.
Northern Ontario is going to be attempting to use those 2 corner guards that they put up.
Top board.
Okay, line's good now. T-line. 5-3 in your last one. T-line, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're okay.
Easy.
Good, Kels. Real good, Kels. That's fine.
And it comes to rest of the back of the 12-foot, and as expected, Northern Ontario are going to be drawing around these corner guards.
Yeah, really important if you're Northern Ontario to just try and remain focused here. I mean, obviously not the start that you wanted, but there's lots of curling left, right?
Absolutely.
And, I think for them, just staying positive and looking back and reflecting on what it is they can do better moving forward. I mean, it really was a tight game, and sometimes it just comes down to one shot, right? And
yeah, absolutely. And this team's got lots of experience. They've all played in multiple U18 championships and Canadian U-20, so they've all been here before. They all know that not every game's going to go your way. It's still early. You're still learning the ice. This isn't going to rattle this team. And on the other side, for Saskatchewan, first game as a team, come out strong, figure the ice out right away. This has to be a really good confidence boost for this team.
Absolutely a dream start if you're Team Saskatchewan.
You got it, Kels.
No, curl. Clean. Curl. 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 Clean. 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 Just the top. Good.
I like the slide and release together were good. They were just straight line. You got it.
It's big games coming up as well for both of these teams. Next draw for the women taking place at 2 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, Northern Ontario's got Team Quebec number 2, and that is Joliane Fortin, who competed at the Scotties this year. And Team Saskatchewan's next game coming up is going to be against Team Newfoundland and Labrador, and they've got a really strong team just coming off of their University Championship.
Yeah, Bill, a bit. Bill!
I was like on the rock when I like.
Nice shot, Lily. Good judge. 16.
Really nice draw there.
Okay, you got it. Nice and clean, yeah.
Grab a sliver less. Yep.
Okay, you got this.
Feel 7. Clean. Clean. Yep.
Another PO being asked for Saskatchewan.
Big roll.
Saskatchewan Vice Leah Beausoleil.
Roll. Yep. Great out. Go. Sorry, I missed a time.
Gets it out of the way.
Nice sweep.
Does the job.
Back four. You got it. Not bad.
Northern Ontario electing to play the freeze on the Yellow Rock back 8 foot.
I think he's doing like a 7.
Yeah, you know Saskatchewan's going to be looking at the double over on the over in the 4 foot. So make a good freeze here, and it's going to be really tough for Saskatchewan to remove later on in the end. So another good way to generate 2 or 3 points here.
We need back 4. Line's good. We're there. Just shoot. Back 4. T. Well done. Bella, yep, line. Weight's good. Yep, hold the line. Hard line. Weight's good. Hard line. Hard.
Line's really good on this one.
Nice shot.
Taps it back a hair, but really good result there for Northern Ontario.
Excellent draw, yes,
Do
by
you like this way? Me too.
Northern Ontario Vice Riley Paul.
You got it, yeah.
I got 4 seconds. Nice shot.
9-5.
Yep.
Hard, Kels.
Whoa.
Hard. Yeah, all the way.
Whoa. Sorry.
That's okay.
Good throw by Leah Beausoleil.
That's me.
Quite get the double.
Jacket.
10-5. Y'all like rolling farther than that? 9-4.
2 Saskatchewan stones out, counting that back one. Northern Ontario Rock at the back of the 12. So still a little bit of work to do to get a couple more points on the board here for Northern Ontario, but calling for the hit and roll here.
Clean. Off. Girl. Reed's good. Hair up. Reed's good. Girl. Hard bell.
Hit, catch the back one.
10-3.
Pretty good result there for Northern Ontario.
What did you get, sorry? 10-3. Yeah, good way was good.
Yeah, I think it forces Saskatchewan to probably hit the open one.
Then I'll have a double. Yeah. 10-5. I don't think this is worth it. I agree. Right now, no. Okay. 10-5, yeah.
Sticking to the open stone here, you know Northern Ontario is going to want to make a play on those on that red-yellow combination on the other side of the sheet. So Saskatchewan is just looking to make the nose hit here and
we nose.
make the next shot really difficult for Northern Ontario.
We're good. Nose this. 10-5. I think we're good. You got it.
Hard, Kels.
Hard, right to it, Kels. Hard, right to it. Gotta go. Hard, keep going.
Plug it on early. Is it going to sit on the nose?
That's okay.
And it rolls just a little bit too far. So opportunity now for Northern Ontario.
That's okay. Yeah, great sweep. Good. Oh.
Chance to sit 3 here pretty late in the end.
Well, it's off 10-6. Sit 3.
Yeah, they're looking at their options. You're right, they could hit it and sit 3. I mean, it's
10-5. You'll curl a lot here.
the other option would be a freeze and
My 8.5 went like crazy.
hope for a miss on the next Saskatchewan stone, but I think this is the right call.
Are they second? Second and third or second? Second. Okay. What weight are you throwing? 10-5. Okay.
Good to see Team Northern Ontario staying nice and positive out there and still communicating about the weight they want to throw on this rock and what they want the outcome to be.
It's good. It's easy for communication to kind of wear down when you're down by 8 points, but you know, this team's got the experience. They've got the knowledge. And Got some pretty good people behind the bench and up in the stands too, and you know they're going to be they're going to learn from this, and they're going to come back strong for the next one for sure.
Reed's close. Reed's good. Hair down. Yep. Hair down.
Whoa. Clean. Yep.
Hair down. Reed's
Whoa.
good. Whoa. Reed's good.
Curl.
Curl.
Curl. Push. Stick.
Okay.
As contact rolls out, but Northern Ontario is still sitting too.
Like this.
What do you get?
10-9. Yep.
I still like here. Let's figure out this one.
I just don't understand.
It's okay.
I eat half move more than that.
Yeah, I like it.
You're good.
I like the same wage.
Yeah, I do too.
On my last, so perfect weight.
I like
Same weight, just. I like rolling the rock. In.
Yeah, I like rolling over top of their red.
Yeah, for sure. Same weight.
Yeah, I like it. It's all good. Nice and you got it. I got the stick.
Chloe Semeniuk delivering her final stone.
Hard.
Whoa! Yes!
Room.
Okay, clean!
Clean.
Whoa,
Clean.
stop! Clean! Yep, a bit.
Yep, a bit.
Whoa.
That's good.
Yeah, because it's 6. Way better. But I thought it was if you're down 6, then you can more manageable. I swear she said that, but clean instead of. I don't know. Down 6 half the throw. Great throw. Yeah, something like that. 8-5.
10-5.
Way better throw. Okay.
Claire Dubinski here getting ready
Okay,
for
my bad.
her
You got it.
last stone at the end.
Same weight, hair more.
Chance for 2 here, looking to go out on a little bit of a positive note just to finish off this end.
Yeah, soft weight hit 3/4 of a rock, anywhere from half a rock to 3/4 of a rock, and score your deuce.
And here we go. Claire Dubinski, final stone. Here in the 6th end. Calling the curl right away here.
Whoa. Curl. Clean. Straight.
Calling it close, makes a hit stick. Really nice shot there by
Nice throw.
Claire Dubinski to pick up her 2 after 6.
No, you're good.
Good game, guys.
Just waiting for the indication here. Yeah, and the
Sorry.
Velcro's coming off. And we've got a final here. And really impressive start here for Team Saskatchewan and Team Semeniuk. They're going to win this one 9-3 in 6 ends in their U-20 debut.
Sorry.
I'm going to shake your hand. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Still getting the crowd support here for both teams. Really energetic here, and we're going to see a lot of that this week.
Both really good curling teams, Mark, and I think we're going to see lots from these 2 teams moving forward.
Free throw.
Good game, guys.
All right, got a few highlights here for some of the games.
Really appreciate everybody joining us this evening. And the 2026 New Holland Canadian Junior Curling Championships will continue tomorrow morning. I believe
Yeah, we got a
the
really
next
good
draw.
one. Absolutely. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. We got Team Manitoba number 2. And it's Team Nash Sugden. And it's Team Ontario number 1's Evan McDougall. I will have that call along with recently crowned Brier champion Jacob Horgan is going to be joining us in the booth. And we've had a really good one, so that'll do it. Make the final 9-3 Saskatchewan over Northern Ontario 1. Enjoy your Saturday night, and we'll be back with you at 10 a.m. Sunday morning.